Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stars with Stasi, where no matter who or what you are on this cosmic journey, you are welcome here. I'm Stasi, your trusted psychic, intuitive reader, and fellow Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, we're going to take a look at our finances, our creativity, and our abundance. This is a timeless reading, but just know that right now it is Virgo season. Well, as of August 23rd. So, depending on when you watch this, it is Virgo season. We also have 2 eclipses happening, which does mean that we actually have 2 Virgo new moons, one on August 23rd and one during the partial solar eclipse on September 22nd. So lots of change, lots of needing to get organized, unexpected things happening right around this time. So we're going to take a look at our abundance and finance and figure out what that means to us. All right, Scorpio. So if you are new here, welcome home. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Also, don't forget to stay tuned. I will tell you what to comment below so that you can participate in the free mini readings. And those mini readings happen at the end of each of my long form content. So stay tuned and we'll get into that. All right, so I've got some interesting things coming up for sure. All right, Scorpio, let's take a look. Wisdom comes through. Wisdom comes through. And I feel like that is hermit energy, like coming out of somebody else's shadow. And what I mean by that is not allowing others to direct your sense of future, not allowing potentially someone else's blueprint to be exactly what you follow to lead to success. It's something about breaking the mold is coming through. So let's look further. Oh, geez. I've got drama. Beware of troublemakers in the workplace. The job you want may have too much upheaval to bear. Keep emotions and gossip in check. So I'm not making that up, Scorpio. This is definitely something that came up in last week's financial reading. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, I'll link it to this video. This also reads beginning. It's a good time to start a new job or a whole new career. You have creative ideas that get noticed. Build a nest egg for the future, right? So take a look at like excess expenditures, subscriptions, things that you no longer need a monthly buy-in to. Is there something that you source out that you can do yourself, whether you're a creator and it's editing, whether you are I can't really think of so many examples because I've recently reeled in a lot of my own finances. So just take a look at things, right? Just take another look and see where it is that you might be able to, here you go, takeout, for example. Some of us might, like I know I certainly get lazy every once in a while and I don't feel like cooking, right? Maybe reel in that energy. So there's something there. Now, about this drama situation, last week it came through as people that are being jealous, but there's also other things I want you to consider. Between now and the end of 2025, there could be large corporate changes. So, depending on what type of work you do out there in the universe, if you are working for someone else, the government potentially, if you are here in the US, you already see the writing on the wall. But more broadly, there's a lot of intelligence, right? AI coming through that is automating many jobs that a lot of humans do today, allowing for different types of opportunities to open up for us. So take a look at what that means for you. Again, this is a general reading. So if you're looking for something more specific and tailored to your needs, please head over to my website at starswithstasi.com. All those links are always in the description box, and I love to work with each and every one of you. Now, in terms of our finances, I have the Two of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles showing up. So this is a very interesting take, but I feel that when it comes to matters of the work, matters of creation, what you put out into the universe, this would be a very good time to work with another person, a mentor, for example. I feel that someone comes forward. This could be seen as someone who is someone who gets things done. Because all kings fall under the element of fire, and this is earth of fire. So kings are longevity, looking forward, able to generate wealth and abundance, longevity. right? And then the Two of Cups in this instance is going to represent this is a good fit for you, one that brings you a completion, a wholeness, one that you feel good about producing. So an example is if you're a creator like myself, it's time to just put things out in the universe that you enjoy, right? Perhaps, like, for example, I have a very specific audience, but I'm broadening my channel because I create for my future self as well as those of us that are interested in more than just tarot readings, right? Maybe you want to learn tarot. Maybe you want to learn about different decks or different books. So this is a time to take the bull by the horns and go for it. But there are others out there who have already paved a path. And when I said about it's time to break away from someone else's blueprint, you don't need to recreate the wheel. You just need to make it your own. You need to put that spin on it that makes it uniquely yours. So get advice from other people, because with that King of Pentacles, whatever you're growing for sure can root itself into something that creates substantial financial that rhymes, right? That you can sustain financial success, right? For the long haul. And then with this Three of Pentacles coming through, again, this is like a mentor. Now, King of Pentacles is generally a more mature, we're talking like someone 30s, 40s plus. You know, this is an adult person if we're going to look at it as a person that's separate from you. Because it comes through with the Three of Pentacles, there are two things coming forward that I'd like to address. One is I feel like you may have been trusting of someone at work, and then that trust turns on you. It became unsafe. The reason I say that is because we've got this drama card falling in place. And with this Three of Pentacles, I feel like this could be a meeting with higher ups in your organization to discuss potentially a betrayal or someone falling out of line. Maybe you manage someone who's disrespected you in front of others, or who is speaking negatively of you, trying to take you down. While I don't love this energy, I do have to discuss it because it's coming through. And I do feel that there is going to need to be some very clear boundaries being set. So I think I've already mentioned this, but we are in Virgo season as of August 23rd. And we do have a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on September 7th. And on September 22nd, we have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo, which will be the second new moon in Virgo. So this month, two new moons in Virgo, and Virgo is very much about getting things in order. Unexpected changes are taking place in September, a very busy month in 2025. And it's going to make you perhaps pretty emotional during that eclipse happening in Pisces, again around September 7th. And then around the 22nd, you may find yourself really digging deep into an area of study so that you can move forward perhaps in a different direction. And with this Three of Pentacles, we're going to reel it back in from the drama that some of us are experiencing. If you work for yourself, this could be, again, drama with a client or people that you are working with or co-creating with. I said this last week and it comes through again. Respond versus react, right? Stay in a neutral place of strength, right? Think the Chariot card. Forward momentum from a place of neutrality equals success each and every time. Record keep anything that feels off to you, reflect on it, and then respond. Make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, all of your paperwork in place if you do need to have a conversation with a higher up, or if you need to confront a co-creator, a client for whatever reason. And also, this is coming through in matters of your finances. Start gathering your records for tax purposes. I know it's early, but this is going to give you an idea of where you might be bleeding out financially and being unaware of it. That comes through. Whew. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget to do that. I appreciate it. And comment, why am I so rich? Start asking yourself those tough questions and let the record in your mind play in the background. Why am I so rich? Why am I so rich? And watch your life change. Comment below, why am I so rich? Giving you an opportunity for next week's mini read. Another way to look at this, Scorpio, is with this King of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and that Two of Cups. Again, I feel like mentorship is available. Oh, my copper rods are falling out. Mentorship is available here, but also, and I've said this a few times in August, no sooner you become the student that you are as well the teacher, right? So there is an opportunity here that benefits all people, right? Giving you a chance to lead as well as be led. Now, I will say that I have a very strong feeling that whoever it is that you might be benefiting as a mentee, right? So you're the mentee, for example, you're going to someone for advice. Someone has something to offer you. I feel like they could be a stickler for the rules. Scorpio, it has to be done this way. You know, it has to be said this way. You have to divine it as, you know, as follows. But remember what I said before. This is great information to get you started, but you branch off, rightfully so, right? You are the next generation of XYZ. So here we've got the we've got the Six of Wands, Six of Cups. Hold on a second. Let's clarify this Three of Pentacles, please. One more. Thank you. This one. Okay, and the Three of Wands. I love this. So we've got 6 showing up again. This happened last week. We had 6s show up. Now we've got 2 6s. The Six of Wands clarifying the Two of Cups, Six of Cups clarifying the King of Cups, and the Three of Wands clarifying the Three of Pentacles, and these 2 3s adding to 6. So 6 is a number of harmonious union, things coming into right balance. Equity. It's possible that in the workplace, in wherever it is that you create, you may have felt looked over, unappreciated, especially when it comes to promotions, right? That's what I'm feeling. And this is your final time that you allow for that to happen. So there is an energy here of Scorpio standing up for themselves and willing to take whatever falls into place as a result. That comes through. With the Six of Wands, you will be very successful in challenging anyone who you feel has been standing in the way of progress, especially if it's you. If you find that, because these eclipses are not playing, if you find that your own behaviors, right, whether it be that you've, how should I say, you teach people how you want to be treated by what you allow to happen, what you say of yourself and others, and what you project into the universe. That is someone else's guide on what you're willing to accept and not accept. If you come to the realization this month that it's your own habits, what you've allowed, what you've overlooked, and who you've repainted that has placed you in this position of shining less than as bright as you are, that comes to an end abruptly, and you confront it successfully. So I also feel that things come full circle in your journey as well. With this Six of Cups, something is really meant for you, and it is pointed out by someone else in your organization. That is also coming through. So pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the conversations, even in passing. If you are working for someone else, take a look at the, it's so much energy. Forgive me, guys. Comment, why am I so rich? Don't forget, what you pound into the universe becomes a real thing. It grows legs. It becomes its own thought form. So with this King of Pentacles and Six of Cups, if you've been overlooked for something, if you've been passed by, you start getting the leg up September, October, November. I feel that strongly. I feel like you also have a lot to offer. You do have a new way to present something where it becomes digestible for other people. Maybe if you are in a situation where the intelligence is, let's say, taking over a portion of your company, or if the government is shutting down a particular sector out there and that's where you work, something new opens up, or you are the visionary for a new avenue, a new branch of work. That's coming through very strongly, but it's not anything that can be accomplished alone. This is time to reach out, seek out, but not everyone and everything is safe. So boundaries are important. I feel that. Because this King of Pentacles is the kind of energy that is there to help, very strict and by the books. So when you are learning from someone else, first learn how to do it properly, so to speak, and then create from there so that you have that strong foundation. But that King of Pentacles isn't someone you're going to party with and hang out with and chimmy with. That's not this kind of energy. This is a mentor-mentee relationship, here to build you up. If you find that personal questions are coming your way, this might be a time to be very Scorpio about it and keep your cards, close to your chest. So I'm channeling quite a bit of that. I hope this makes sense. Comment below, why am I so rich? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe in this video, because it does let YouTube know that others should watch as well. So 3 cards came out just like that. Hold on. Let me just see what they are, because they will. Let me see. I do have the 2 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. I'm going to put these back in, but be mindful of manipulation and getting into it with someone. Just, stay grounded. I feel like you might be tested here, and you're going to have to reel it in, because look, on September 7th, that lunar eclipse in Pisces is super emotional, and we're already water signs, right? And we already have all kinds of feelings. And Scorpio is good when we're left alone, but you come poking at the bear, child, it's no bueno. And we know that. So don't let that get in the way of your pentacles. Keep your heart song, and this computer up here in balance, right? If you're feeling too much watery, too much energy, protect yourself. For sure. And that can look like a lot of different things. It can look like prayer. It can look like meditation. A big thing happening in September. You're going to look for new ways, right? To outsource, or not outsource, to channel the emotions, healthy ways. Health becomes a huge priority, and that will be talked about more in our weekly reading, but it's imperative for the financial reading, because what good are the financials if you're unhealthy, if you're unwell, if you're trapped in the mental, right? So there's a word of advice there. Again, respond versus react. I can't say that enough, especially with so much going on in the upcoming weeks. All right, tell me more about Scorpio and the creative, the financials. What do we have? I did just see a glimpse of the Tower card. So again, sudden changes happening, especially around August 23rd, 24th, 25th, even through the end of August. But I think more or less right around that first new moon in Virgo. So I've got the Ace of Cups coming through with the 4 of Cups, which is really the Ace of Cups twice, and I'll show you why. And the 8 of Wands happening. Time to take action on that new thing. I feel like it's a time to fulfill yourself, right? Listen, if you have been in this rigmarole of corporate structures or a dead end position, or working for someone that doesn't allow for growth because you're being passed up for opportunity, or people are always, in your business, the boundaries have been blurred too much. This might be a real unexpected change, but one that deep down you've been wanting, but not knowing how to navigate such a shift, because financial money is involved. And so this Ace of Cups and the 4 of Cups, the reason I say this is just another Ace of Cups is here you are. Let me see if I can get a better glue and blue. No, view. Are you guys feeling tongue-tied out there over something you need to confront? Think about that, because I generally, this is like blah, blah, blah. There might be something that you've been holding back. And again, this could be in many different aspects, but, there's something there. Maybe you've been biting your tongue, not sure when it is the right time to say something or to take action. But based on this Eight of Wands, forward momentum is quickly approaching. And also, like I said, we've got the Three of Wands clarifying the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands is a visionary. Remember, 3 is a number of creation, and Wands is about the fiery. So this is like an action-oriented time to create your vision. And look here, I also have to say this, if you're thinking about creating a class, this is going to be a great time to do that as well, which again might be an opportunity available. Like check the job postings in where you are currently and start there. I feel like ideas come and someone in the workplace wants to help you create that, but first you've got to learn the true and tried way. And that's going to work out for you because that allows you to build something new from a foundation that's been proven. I hope that makes sense. I think last week it came up as being like the subject matter expert at something, so you don't have to be a master at everything. Just master one thing and then pursue that thing because it brings you the Ace of Cups. It brings you joy, right? And this is all about the emotional. Be mindful about being too emotionally tied to an environment that's unhealthy because it's comfortable. That comes through. Now, with this Four of Cups, remember that here we've got a little bit of, oh, I wish this would have worked out. I wish this would have happened. And then the universe says, well, it's time to shift. We've got something new here coming through, something that will make you much more fulfilled. Eight of Wands, 8 is, something being birthed in the material world. And this is time to take action on that, right? Again, fire is all about the energy. One moment. I have the Page of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles that showed up. So, oh, geez. Hold on, guys. Okay. Comment, why am I so rich? While I get these cards under control. So with that Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, I feel, again, a lot of financial independence comes from being that visionary and from putting something into action, right? Taking that small idea that's really not so small, finding a true and tried way that has happened in the past, and then expanding on that so that it fits the upcoming years. Even if we don't know what that looks like, because we really don't. We have no idea how much will be automated. We have no idea what we can create on our own and new. Just be bold and be ready to take action with what you have and continue to be forward thinking. Oh, I'm getting pings. 1 second. Oh, wow. I've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Cups again, clarifying the Four of Cups. And the Ten of Swords. Okay. It is definitely time to move away from something. And it's happening because it's divinely guided. Remember how I said earlier about navigating a situation from a place of neutrality. And I compared it to the Chariot card. When we're looking at the Wheel of Fortune, which if you haven't seen my interview with Lon Milo Duquette, we talk about this in great detail, all of the things about the Wheel of Fortune. So take a look at that interview. It's actually both entertaining, but very, very educational when we talk about this. And he is the creator of the Tarot Architect, amongst many other things. And I think it's of great value because it keeps showing up. Several of my readings recently have talked about the wheel turns for me. And here's a good example of what that looks like. If you've been feeling stuck, all the things we've talked about, the drama and needing a new beginning, it doesn't have to be entirely new, right? Maybe you are building a new foundation. Again, how should I say this? Expanding on the tried and true methods that somebody else has already built. That's the best thing I can say. Wheel of Fortune is all about divine timing, right? Sometimes luck and right timing. This is Jupiter energy, expansion, right? Things happening, but you want expansion with ease. And the way you get that is by not being distracted by the smoke and mirrors. You see those characters around the wheel, right? In the Rider-Waite deck, you're going to have, I think it's a snake, a sphinx, and a demon, right? Something like that. Here we just have the masculine and feminine, two opposing energies. They're distractions around the wheel. The place of neutrality is the central position here. And the universe is saying fulfillment comes from a place of control, right? It doesn't mean that you control the show. It means that you control yourself, your emotions, respond versus react, right? Seeing the players around you for what they really are. Being able to make decisions also from a place of strength and courage. Four cups coming through twice is, again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's an energy here of allowing changes to occur because they're happening anyway, and then understanding the benefit for you with those changes. So if you're looking at the second row, basically we've had the Ace of Cups come through 3 different times, right? In the same thing. Not only that, but here, the reason you're able to take such action and move forward is because you do put an end to something. You do understand that you've juiced this moment for all it's worth. I think I mentioned a few moments ago that I saw the Tower card briefly, right? Sudden changes. Like I said, August 23rd, 24th, 25th, you start to see very clearly. It's very possible as well that your current situation, whatever you do day to day, the way it's being done or the way you're doing it is taking a toll on you, on your health, your mental health. You may be turning to addictions, afflictions, or feeding into the drama. It may be just stressing you out. And in my mind's eye, I see the 4 of Swords, right? Like, take a break from that and reevaluate. There's also an opportunity here with, I'm being told, with that King of Pentacles that we saw earlier and that 6 of Cups with the 6 of Wands, all of that. I don't know if I said it or not, but you may, like, as I said before, if you're working in a corporation, the government, anything like that, take a look at the internal job postings and reach out to anyone you know in those departments that can help. It'll be well received. But there's also an opportunity here that when you bring forward any type of being looked over, that again, it's well recognized what you've done. Here we go. Ace of Wands comes through. Again, energy, fire, passion, something new materializing. Things do happen very quickly as a result. We're going to clarify that as well. Don't forget, why am I so rich? 10 of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Listen here. When the Queen of Wands shows up, have faith in yourself, right? You are magnetic. You are attractive in many ways, right? This is saying about find that courage within you to step out of what you've been pinholed into, right? Whatever you've been niched into. There's an opportunity here for expansion. And that expansion comes with balance so that you can enjoy your life as well as what you create. And there's a newfound passion and adventure here. And I also feel like some people are moving into an environment where travel becomes part of in a regular part of at least the next year or so. And that could be very true if you're taking on a new position or expanding your client base. I just feel like travel could be part of it. Now, I do have to say this because every time I mention travel recently, my guides are letting me know that if you are traveling in October, November, maybe the early part of December, and just because of the holidays here in the US, I'm going to extend that, even though it's not necessarily coming from my guides. I feel like, oh, sorry, getting pings. I feel like at least through the 3rd week, but I would just extend that a little bit. Build in extra time into your flow of travel. And also, if it's in your wheelhouse to do so, I would highly recommend, based on the pings that I've been getting. And pings, if you're not familiar with me, sometimes you'll see me like do that. It's my guides sending me like like ching is how I hear it, like that ear ringing. And then it translates into a message. I digress. Travel insurance, things like that, or buying tickets that are refundable, being able to pack in an extra day on either side of your travel just in case. If you're traveling alone, even if you're meeting up with a group on the other end, if you're traveling alone, this is important, especially October, November. So I feel just as a traveler that December is of importance as well, just because the holidays. But, no matter what you do, October, for sure, October and November, just be mindful about traveling. But there could be an opportunity here for many Scorpios. Um, that was the World card. For many Scorpios, as you wrap up a chapter and enter into a new environment, that travel becomes a staple. Or it could be that you expand your client base. And so you're working with people from other countries, things like that. Yeah. Okay, so the Two of Swords comes in. Page of Wands. Let me just take a look. We've got the World card. So with the Wheel of Fortune, also a 10, the 10 of Wands, and the World card, these are all cards of completion. And what's interesting is, and I know I've brought this up already, but trust me, there's a method to the madness. When I mentioned that interview with Lon Milo Duquette, we did talk about the Wheel of Fortune, but we talked about how it related to the Fool and the World card. So it's a very deep intersection of beginnings and how to handle those beginnings as an individual in the 3D and what that means for you, right? So the World card is a card of completing a certain path, right? And you are doing this perhaps with a little bit of sorrow. Maybe you thought that you could fix something or do something or something would always be, but that's really more out of comfort and security, but it's a perceived security. When you lean into the changes, because remember those Four of Cups came through twice, and the universe is saying, look, you're going to have feelings about this. It's not that you failed. It's just no longer meant for you. You're on to a new chapter. And this chapter is exciting. It doesn't feel like it at first. It feels scary. But this is excitement. This will grow legs, King of Pentacles. This is meant for you in a way that you couldn't have envisioned. We become comfortable in the devil we know. We become comfortable. And because of that, sometimes we hold ourselves back because we in this density, we're taught that money, and we need it to survive and to thrive. Those finances sometimes anchor us into a place that's actually unhealthy and imbalanced. Remember, I saw that Two of Pentacles, and it came out with the Seven of Cups. The illusion of things and need and desire sometimes keeps us stuck. And with this with this Wheel of Fortune card coming through, the universe is stepping in and saying, okay, this is the end of an era. Trust me, where you are isn't going to be available in the near future anyway. So now we're going to pivot you into what's really going to fulfill you. And your cup runneth over. You couldn't have envisioned it because you don't have the tools yet to know what's ahead. But the universe does. The universe has a better, bigger perspective. Also, old stories of, I don't know that I'm smart enough, I can do it, this is too new, I'm not familiar. We're all in the same boat. Don't let anything hold you back at this point, because I think that all of us as a collective are headed into new territory. And if you're in the right circle with the right people, you should find nothing but support. And if that's not what's around you, it's time to change that. And only you can change it. Because when you sit still in that central position of the wheel, you can see the players in the game, and you can determine what's meant to stay, what's meant to go, and take it from there. So the energy and the courage comes forward to take big steps, end that cycle, end that chapter, and move forward with excitement, because it is exciting, right? It's the unknown in many ways, but it's unknown and meant for you. And again, if you learn the tried and true method of something and you build from there, I feel like there's a bit more security on your end. I'm also getting this energy of like, and I say this a lot, but it's true. I feel like Scorpios sometimes get in our heads with imposter syndrome and maybe like old stories. Bear with me. There's something here about feeling like you've never seen, not having an example to follow that you've seen work in the past, something closer to home. Perhaps, perhaps you want to do entrepreneurial. I'm going to start over. Perhaps you want to start your own business. And in the past, you've not seen that successfully work out. Like your parents' business didn't succeed, or I don't know, someone has told you, listen, that's too much of a risk. We can't afford that right now. Those are old stories. Those are days of old. The universe is moving in such a forward progression that you've got to hop on that energy and take use of it. And because I do see there's something here about the Two of Swords and holding yourself back and questioning if you can do something. You're worried about how it's going to affect the income that you bring into your family. Valid concern. But the universe says, I promise you, keep going forward. We have better for you than you could have imagined, but you've got to take the first step so that we can lift you from there. Oh, that makes me want to cry, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Oh, well, and that's guiding me towards that September energy with the eclipses. Very emotional times. I'm looking at things like going away parties and retirement parties. Oh, there could be someone in an apartment, either yours or adjacent, where someone's retiring or leaving. They're completing a chapter, allowing you to move forward. Thank you. I really just saw that whole thing. I literally saw, I think it's a retirement party or someone's announcing an early retirement. Because Scorpio, this energy is not just for us. This is all over, right? Big, huge endings, changes taking place. So respond versus react, because you never know who your future boss will be, and you never know who you will end up being the mentor to or boss to. So don't burn bridges. Respond versus react. I can't say it enough. Comment, why am I so rich? Let the universe know that you're ready for it. This Page of Wands with this Queen of Wands, that again, you're going to take something and you're going to make it your own. Pages are curious. They're seekers. And this is like, how can I make my life more balanced? How can I enjoy myself more? How can I build in travel, family, mental health, physical health? I can't say that enough. They keep coming through with health, education, security. So that tells me that your path ahead to security and financial longevity is through first understanding the changes that are occurring real time, right? Understand the technology. Don't shy away from it. Understand it, because then you can make informed decisions with it. One moment. Understand currency, how to invest, what types of investments are available. Like if you haven't studied retirement plans or whatever the case is, right? Like, I mean, we have people from all over the globe watching. So if you haven't understood the different types of money or really how to save and what interest looks like, whatever that is, learn about it. Learn enough about it to understand that maybe you want to hire someone to assist. But there's something here about financial planning, legacy building, legacy planning, and reserving income so that as you take these leaps, as you travel, as you explore, you can also educate yourself. And there's path here ahead, forward. One moment. I'm also getting information here about scholarship available. Scholarship can look like a lot of different things. So if you are building classes, this could be a time to offer scholarship as one way of drawing in clientele that you can then turn into what are that? Internships that's coming through. So this is like explore different ways to pluck the chicken is the saying, right? There's more than one way to pluck a chicken, and there's opportunity here. If you're a business owner, learn what it is that you can deduct, learn what it is you can donate. How can you make the money work for you? How can you build classes and market them properly to expand your reach? You know, even if you are, and I want you guys to think about this. Let's say you are someone who does something very specific in the workplace. Perhaps this is time to make classes of that and sell them on the internet. Trust me, there's something here. So let's say you're a financial advisor, right? We have a couple of people that subscribe to this channel that do that. You're a financial advisor and you see changes coming in the workplace and you've got weeks of leave. Maybe take a couple weeks of leave after you've investigated how to create classes online, and that's passive income while you take leave, right? If you're a real estate agent, that real estate always comes through on this channel. If you're a real estate agent, this might be a time, like I said, to record what it is that you do during the day, and make classes. There's multiple sources of income for each person out there. You can take what you already do and create from that in your own way, and sell that digital products. That's all coming through. So again, Scorpio, with this Two of Swords and this Ten of Cups coming through, I feel like you're holding yourself back because of perceived responsibilities and real responsibilities and the uncertainty of, will this actually work? But it won't work if you never try and if you don't take that action, because the changes are happening no matter what. The best way to prepare for them is to expand your reach, expand your clientele, look for opportunities, reach out to others who are established and ask for their assistance, but also create boundaries in the process. Don't allow for such tight relationships to happen at work. That's not the place for it. I promise you that. No matter what environment you work or create in, you have to have boundaries. And remember, that's your boss, that's your employee, that's your client, right? It's still a business transactional relationship that, when broached or approached with respect and gratitude, will yield you a world of balance, legacy, and forward momentum. I love this, Scorpio. All right, don't forget to comment, why am I so rich? So hang tight and I will be announcing the winner of the mini read. I'm not going to do shadow work today. That'll be on the weekly, but please remember that we are all stars from the sky with feet on the ground, doing the best we can with the information that we have. So be kind to yourselves and each other. And in closing, may the magic that we weave and the words that we speak bring healing to all those who seek it, Scorpio. Hang tight if you'd like to know who won the mini reading and if you want to see what a mini read looks like. So the winner of last week's mini read, and I write them all down, was Gwendolyn Marie 5788. Gwendolyn Marie 5788. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for taking your time and energy and watching my content and commenting last week. I really appreciated that. You won fair and square. So we're going to take a look at the financials for you, or whatever the universe has to say. I'm using the Witch's Tarot. And just when I cut the deck, it was literally mirroring what we just discussed. Gwendolyn, look, the Fool card comes through, and then we've got the Eight of Wands. Forward momentum in a new direction. So let's see what that looks like for you. And for anybody else who just wants to hang out, I do appreciate your time and energy. Let's cheer Gwendolyn on and let's wish her and all of us the best. Because when you put good energy out into the universe, good energy comes back. All right, Gwendolyn, let's find out why you're so rich. Gwendolyn Marie 5788. Gwendolyn, the Fool card flew out with zest, along with the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is all about strategy, right? 7 is a disruptive number. The odd numbers are disruptive. Change. Change with strategy. Because the Seven of Swords, this person here, has 5 swords that they're taking with them and 2 swords that they're leaving behind because they can't carry it all, but they're going to walk away with the majority of it. So this could be someone you're dealing with that you feel is taking of your time and energy, not being transparent. Or it very much could be that you need to start a new path and you've got to be strategic about it. So let's look further and see how that looks for you. And I will ask that if you do come across this reading, please leave me a note and let me know how it went and if it resonated. Gwendolyn, shut up. Because the 8 of Wands came out again. Girl, I don't know. You might have to listen. If you do have somebody who's BSing you, it's time to get away from them, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I feel like this could be a couple of things because again, it's a general reading and there's so many different energies that are watching this right now. This could be as specific as you have I feel like a younger person. It could be a relative that's overextending their stay, over asking, over just doing it too much. Someone who's kind of taking advantage. If that's you, this is time to put some boundaries there. Okay? Now, it could be other things. So let's see. What do we have? I just saw a card flipped up the wrong way. So let me see who that was. 5 of Pentacles. I feel like there's somebody well, let's see. 3 of Wands comes through as well. Show me more about, one second. The Lovers card. I don't know. I feel like you're in a difficult situation and really that Lovers card is at a crossroads. With this 5 of Pentacles that we saw a moment ago, and the 3 of Wands, like you're torn between perhaps even traveling or moving and wondering, or you could be asking if this is a specific person, you might be thinking like they need out of your life, and wondering like, should I do this? There's something here about hurt feelings is coming through. Interesting. One moment. Tell me more about Gwendolyn. What's going on here? Knight of Swords. I do feel, okay, look, I feel like there's a conversation that you need to have with somebody. Maybe somebody who you don't really trust as much. Because as much as I'm trying to look at the different ways this could land, this feels like you're about to really lay down the law with someone, but you have to be clear. You have to be super clear and set some boundaries and say, look, you're welcome here, but you've got to pave your own path. You've got to build your own nest egg. You've got to handle yourself financially because it's time for me to travel, to explore, to have fun and enjoy my life. And I can't do that if I'm always giving of myself to you. You are old enough, strong enough to build for yourself. And that's how it's coming through. Like somebody's taking advantage of your kindness, and it's too long. It's been going on too long. So I don't know if this is a child and like an adult child or grandchild. I don't know what stage of life you're in, but if there's someone here that's overextending their welcome, or an energy that's holding you back. It might even be like if you work somewhere or volunteer somewhere and you overextend your energy to them, it's been holding you back and making you feel anchored and obligated to a situation that no longer serves you. And it's just time to move past that. And a conversation needs to be had for sure. Yeah, wow. The 4 of Cups comes through with this Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords a lot of times can look, all the queens fall under the aspect of water. This is air of water. Cerebral energy, communication, especially because we've got the Knight of Swords. And the Four of Cups comes through maybe a conversation that if you wait too long to have, it might come across as very stern and maybe not the way you would want it. So the universe is saying, look, the quicker you handle this, the more opportunity you see will come of the tough love. And you're able to do it with, you'll be able to respond versus reacting. But there's somebody here that really needs that talking to, that stern talking to, because you can see through the BS, especially if you're dealing with somebody who has addictions and afflictions in their own life, and that's bleeding over into your world, especially financially. That needs to come to an end because you need to call someone out on their BS. That's how it comes through. The Queen of Swords is she's still loving and nurturing, but of all the queens, she's the one that's going to really let you have it if you cross her, but she's also the one that gives the best advice in many ways. She's the one that is very discerning, right? You know, this queen, as you can see, has her sword up because she'll cut you off in a heartbeat, but she's got one hand extended because she's very much like, okay, what do you have to offer? Is it going to benefit me? No, you got to go. She looks out for herself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you might feel bad doing it, but you got to get through that energy, because this tough love gives somebody else the courage and the strength to build on their own 2 feet, to learn to walk. Yeah, I feel like you got to cut the purse strings for someone. Yeah, look, the High Priestess comes up. You already know what you need to do. All right. You already know what you need to say, what you need to do. And this is time to focus on yourself. Trust your gut if you feel like someone's misusing or mishandling your time and energy, whether, like I said before, that be at work or if you volunteer somewhere. Even if it's just like, while this comes through more like a relative or somebody who you help take care of, this, again, it's a general reading. This could be a number of different instances in your life where you feel like you're being taken advantage of. But this is very much setting boundaries and trusting your instincts. If you feel like it's going on, it is going on. And this could be a more emotional time. Again, because we've got the lunar eclipse, the partial solar eclipse, we're going into, Virgo season, 2 new moons, lots of changes taking place. But the best way to handle this is for you to be in a position of power by you speaking up and saying, this is what needs to happen. With the freedom, after you have this conversation, it feels to me like you're going to be more focused on your health, traveling perhaps. But this feels more of like using that time to maybe even take a meditation class, take a yoga class. There's all kinds of yoga. No matter what kind of body you're working with, there's different ways to meditate. There's different ways to get in touch with your spirituality. If you're a churchgoer, you might travel to a different church, or you may go see different churches in the area. I don't know. There's something here about releasing this energy. It's kind of it's not kind of. There's something toxic in your life, particularly a person or an organization overextending, conversations needing to be had, cutting things off very precisely and quickly. So I hope that helps. Gwendolyn, I do appreciate your time and energy. Thank you so much for being such a supporter of this channel, and shine brightly. Have a great week ahead.